Do you intend to work full-time as a junior doctor? Dinner party with Einstein or interview with Picasso? That is a very good question. How to keep a convo going with a new friend via messages? That's a hard one. That used to be a hard one for me. That's not a hard one for me now. Suggestions for dealing with feelings of inadequacy. Hey, if you're new, I'm Christina and I make videos for people who are feeling lonely. If you're a people pleaser, overachiever, over anything, you're in the right place. We have hit a very big milestone on the channel. We recently hit 30k. I cannot even believe that. Like a couple of months ago I was at 5k, so the fact that we're at 30k now, I still can't wrap my head around the fact that these videos where I'm like talking about things that I find really interesting and digging deep on like psychology and like emotions and feelings, like all these things that I like to think about and talk about, people also want to see. Like it's a very weird thing to think about, because I just thought this was a me thing. Like I like to talk about these things and think about these things, but I'm so glad that 30,000 of you guys also enjoy them as well. Honestly, can't thank you guys enough. I did a Q&A on my Instagram stories and I thought it's well overdue that I kind of did like a little catch up, let you guys get to know me, let me get to know you guys. First question: how do you not overthink? People tell me to not care, but it's easier said than done. That is so true. They also put a second box where they said, I struggle with confidence and putting myself out there. Does it get easier the older you get? Or big topic. Overthinking is something that I struggled with for the longest time, especially when you're a people pleaser and the whole way that you navigate life is based on everyone else and their opinions, and you're basing all your actions and the things you're saying on everyone else and whether or not this will make people happy or whether this will upset people. Overthinking, I actually have a video on this coming up soon. But for me, one of the key things, which I'm planning to expand on in the video, is just you have a limited amount of things that you can care about. It helps me to understand that with overthinking, you're not really trying to find a solution with your overthinking. Like you think that you're coming to like, okay, this is the best thing to do. This is the best way to word the message. Like this is the best way to go about the situation, walk into the room and I'll say this. Like you're overthinking and planning almost to help you come up with a solution. But I realized overthinking is not about solutions, it's more about control. When you are overthinking, you're just fighting to get an element of control back in your life. And sometimes that means if I can plan how I'm going to come across in the situation, or if I can plan how the text sounds and not make it sound too harsh and too like confrontational, then you feel a little bit more comfortable in yourself. The reason why I was overthinking was because I hated feeling like I was like out of control and there's nothing I could do. Like I'd be desperate to get some sort of control back in my life. But once you understand that, and you understand like overthinking is just me trying to get control back in my life, that helps a lot as well. And in terms of confidence and putting yourself out there, that definitely gets better with age. Me and my mum were talking about the fact that some people literally say like life begins at 30 or life begins at 40. And we were talking about the fact that it's because so many people spend their teens and 20s and maybe even 30s living life for other people, and they feel like they're caring what other people think, dressing in a certain way to impress other people. And all the confidence that you do have in your early years isn't genuine confidence in yourself. It's confidence about the way that you're projecting yourself to other people. Dinner party with Einstein or interview with Picasso? That is a very good question. Dinner party with Einstein. Okay, we'd be able to chat quite a lot. It's a dinner party, so we're eating over food. Me and Einstein can chit chat. Or interview with Picasso. I could ask him about his creativity. What does he have for lunch? What does he do in his day? That's Picasso. Literally a creative genius. I think I'd go interview with Picasso. Like, I think I'm more of a creative person these days than like an intelligence, sciencey person these days. So maybe more Picasso is my kind of person. Have you ever experienced racism growing up? Number one. And then number two, are you into video games? Number one, me and this person were actually talking on Instagram. So guys, if this is your sign, if you ever want to chit chat with me, DM me on Instagram. I reply to most of my DMs. Yeah, I experienced a bunch of racism growing up in school. A lot of the times when I talk about like my high school experience was rough, I didn't have many friends, it's because of the racism. And don't get me wrong, I had a couple of friends in high school that were like amazing and genuine. But whenever I think back to high school, it just takes me back to all the negative moments I had with all the racism. And it's come up in like therapy sessions sometimes where I'll talk about how, oh yeah, you know, I was bullied a little bit or I was name called. And my therapist always call me out and they're like, Christina, like, no, this was racism. Don't be polite about it. Don't try and like sugarcoat it. Like that was racism. That was uncalled for. It doesn't matter that the girl was 14 or the guy was 13. Like kids are kids, sure. But don't undermine the experience that you had. For me, it's very much in the past and I don't think about it much anymore. But sometimes when I talk about the stuff in my videos, I'm like, it takes me back and I'm like, oh my God, I remember all that. And I remember what those kids would say. And it's just like, it's crazy how the stuff that you experience literally as a teenager and like just a small fleeting moment in the playground can stick with you like decades later. Like, it's actually insane. And then 2, do you play video games? I don't, unfortunately. I've never played. I used to have a Nintendo Lite, I think, a little baby blue one, but no, I'm not massively into video games. Suggestions for dealing with feelings of inadequacy. Ooh, that is a good one. That's something that I have struggled with loads. I never really used to call it inadequacy. I'd call it like insecurity. That's the word that like resonated with me. I used to feel super insecure growing up for some of the reasons I've mentioned, for feeling like I was the odd one out in my high school and experiencing racism. Something that helps me with those feelings of insecurity or inadequacy is trying not to rely your confidence too much on external factors. Like, your confidence should not predominantly come from your grades or your work performance or how attractive you look, how handsome you look, how athletic you are. I was super athletic back in school. Like, I literally played every single sport: athletics, netball, basketball, football, cricket, rounders, like every single sport there was. I did it like quite seriously. I literally went to championships and like nationals, I think at one point I did. I'm not too sure. I was very academic and very athletic, and I felt like my confidence came from those things. And weirdly, I thought that would make me feel better if I'm like the smartest person and I have all these medals from all the athletics competitions I go to. But actually it made me feel worse in a way, because it was like, I felt like on the outside, I was super impressive, but then on the inside, I felt like nothing. Like, I actually had no internal confidence. So for you, it might be a different story, but I would say once you know where you're getting your confidence from, is it from a genuine internal place, like you feel good about yourself, your relationships with your parents, your friends, your close family, you feel good in your own personal life, or are you getting your confidence from work, school? Maybe you're really attractive. Like, I don't know, like, try to not have it too much on the external things, because it can make you weirdly confident, like in a shallow way, but deep down you'll feel like really hollow and empty, like I did. I'm a huge advocate for having hobbies, and I know you might be thinking that's contradictory because I just talked about athletics, but athletics wasn't really a hobby. Like, I wasn't doing it for fun. I was doing it to get medals and to get like achievements and awards for it. I think if I was doing athletics back in the day because I genuinely loved it and it was so much fun, then I think that actually would have given me like internal confidence. How do you make time for yourself whilst in med school despite the constant stress? That is a very good question. That's something I've struggled with for the longest time. I literally made a whole entire video on the fact that, you know, you're not productive, you're emotionally numb. I had phases where I'd look really productive and like I was doing lots of work, but actually it was to cover up for the fact that like I feel really lost inside. I don't really know what I'm doing. Like, I'm getting loads of stuff done to distract myself from all my emotions. Like, I don't want to feel like lonely. I don't want to feel like I don't know where I'm going in life. Like, I'm just going to distract myself with work. This took me way too long to figure out how to do. Like, trying to figure out how to make time for yourself in med school in itself is tough, let alone when you've got med school and a YouTube and a TikTok and an Instagram that you're trying to run as well. It's super tough. The thing that helped me a lot is try to make chill time and downtime with friends. I struggled a lot to take an evening off just to myself, to have like a bubble bath or to go for a walk, like go for a hot walk, girl walk. I would struggle to do that because I feel like time by myself, even though I'm chilling, I wouldn't feel like I was doing enough. So what I always did was like, okay, I'll go see friends for a meal, or I'll catch up with friends and we'll watch Love Island, or I don't know, like I'd call a friend that I hadn't seen in a long time. If I was like chilling and spending the evening with a friend, I'd feel like it was a little bit more productive and I'd actually do it. Whereas if I put like, oh, go for a walk, listen to some music in my calendar at 6 p.m. at night, like I just would not do it, because I'd be like, you're going to be by yourself, Christina, just get work done. Whereas if I put 6 p.m, go see a friend and grab a coffee, I'd actually have to go to that. If you're anything like me, a lot of the time taking breaks isn't really to do with just telling yourself to do it or putting it in your calendar. Like, that is not enough. A lot of it is like changing the way you think about breaks. Like, the way I think about breaks at times is quite unhealthy, and I see breaks as not like lazy, but like not a good use of my time. Like, I need, for me to actually take breaks, I needed to change the way I think about them. Do you intend to work full-time as a junior doctor? So yeah, I start my junior doctor job in literally a couple of weeks, I think a week and a half now. And no, I'm going to be working part-time. Most junior doctors work 48 hours a week, like is their standard week. Sometimes they work a bit more, sometimes a bit less. But I just thought 48 hours a week is a bit too much for me as someone who edits, you know, and films videos. And that takes a solid 10, 12, sometimes 14 hours a week. And I just thought, I don't know if I'll have time to juggle all of that to the standard that I want. So I decided to go part-time. So instead of 48 hours a week, I'm only doing 40 hours a week, which hopefully means I'll have time to carry on with these videos and keep being consistent, because it definitely makes me happy. Like, this is a hobby for me, like I was saying earlier. Like, I genuinely enjoy making these videos. It's not a chore. It's like, I want to post this week. That's how it feels for me. So I think it'll make me feel more happy and confident if I've still got my hobbies that I've got going on. How do you stay consistent on social media? I think the main reason why I stay consistent is because I've got a routine. Like, I absolutely swear by Google Calendar. My whole week is out in Google Calendar. And if something isn't in my Google Calendar, I'm just not doing it. I know some people swear by to-do lists, or some people it's like Pomodoro method, whatever it is. Like, I don't do any sort of fancy stuff with my productivity, with getting things done from Monday to Sunday, when I get up to when I go to bed. It's like my Google Calendar tells me what to do. I've got hours blocked out for like film for 2 hours, edit for an hour, have a break, go for a walk with my mum, which I'm planning to do today. And then it's like in the evening, carry on editing, watch a movie, go to bed. Like that, my days are structured like that. How to keep a convo going with a new friend via messages. That's a hard one. That used to be a hard one for me. That's not a hard one for me now. I think if you're speaking to a new person on Snapchat, on Instagram DMs, and you're trying to figure out like, how do I actually keep it going? Don't overthink it. Like, I actually promise. What I would say is, when I was planning out what to say before, I feel like the conversation comes across very forced. Honestly, what I'd recommend if you're talking to someone new, just talk about the topic at hand. Like, if you guys are currently talking about the football on TV right now, or the Wimbledon, like, just talk about that for now. Ask them some questions on like, who do you think is going to win? What's your opinion? What are your predictions? Or maybe the conversation then subtly moves over to, I don't know, like the weather or the summertime. Like, do you have any plans for the summer? Be really curious about them and what they're up to, because people love to talk about themselves. And weirdly, there's like a weird science behind it. I can't remember the name, but people actually think really highly of you if they spend most of the conversation talking about themselves. Like, if someone gets the chance to talk about themselves and talk about their plans and their interests and stuff, they feel better leaving the conversation, versus if they just sat and listened to you talk the whole time. Don't be afraid to end the conversation as well. Like, if you feel like you've said all that you need to say and it's kind of like naturally come to a little bit of a lull or a pause, that's okay. You can literally say like, oh, it was great talking to you, like love heart or smiley face, like whatever. Do you have an ideal holiday destination? Ooh, that's a good one. Do you know, for the longest time, it would have been Japan. And I'm very, very lucky. I'm a very, very lucky girl, because my mum surprised me with a trip to Japan for my graduation present. I wish I recorded it, because honestly, my face, I probably had an absolute meltdown. Sushi is my favorite food of all time. Ramen is up there with my favorite food of all time. Wagamama is my favorite restaurant ever. Like, I just love Japanese food. I love Japanese food. My mum is also really into Japanese culture as well. She's constantly sending me like different reels on things to do in Japan, and like things we need to see while we're there in Tokyo, Kyoto, like Osaka, and oh, I'm just so excited. And that was the last question. Thank you so much again for 30k. Literally cannot wrap my head around that. Thank you so, so much. This definitely won't be the last Q&A. I'm going to do more in the future. Maybe we can do one at 50k, you never know. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.